Tonight, Kawhi Leonard makes his big return.
Please welcome back Kawhi Leonard!
A standing ovation for the former Raptors MVP in his first game back since winning the NBA championship. Plus,
I think it's a great opportunity for the boys to go out to the rink and rip some puck.
kids hit the ice while teachers return to the picket lines for another one-day walkout. And they lost everything they owned in a fire, but this family is getting a little help just in time for the holidays. Good evening, I'm Mike Wise. We begin with a few developing stories across our city tonight, starting in North York, where a man in his 20s has been killed in a shooting. This happened just before 8:30 in the Leslie Street and Finch Avenue area. When police arrived, they say they found the victim dead. Two suspects were seen fleeing on foot. We don't have a description of them yet. Roads in the area were closed for the investigation. And also tonight, a woman in her 70s died and an elderly man was seriously injured after a collision near Woodbine Racetrack in Etobicoke.
Impact was made. One of the vehicles lost, sort of contact with the ground. It's on its side now, and the other vehicle, obviously lost control, mounted the sidewalk, and came to rest here within the intersection.
Police were called to the Rexdale Boulevard and Queens Plate Drive area just before 7 o'clock tonight. It was initially a two-car collision, as you heard, but a third vehicle was also involved after it was struck by the debris. Paramedics said the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The man is in serious condition, and one other person was taken to hospital with minor injuries. Roads were closed for several hours while Toronto Police Collision Reconstruction Unit investigates. And one person died and several more were injured after a series of collisions closed stretches of Highway 401 westbound between Napanee and Brockville this evening. The OPP says they were all weather-related accidents caused by snow squalls off of the lake. They say the fatal crash happened just before 1 this afternoon at Country Road 15 near Brockville. It was a single vehicle crash, but police say it led to several more, involving between 20 and 25 vehicles. Well, back here in Toronto early tonight, it was certainly a raucous homecoming for Kawhi Leonard as he played his first game in Toronto since leaving the Raptors for the LA Clippers. Plenty of cheers with the crowd on their feet, chanting MVP. Now, as he returned to the Scotiabank Arena for the first time since winning the NBA championship back in June. Now, some people, Leonard included, weren't sure if he would be greeted with cheers or boos. Here's what Leonard predicted at practice earlier today.
I mean, it'll be some cheers, but definitely, I think, more boos because they want to win the game. Not going to be cheering for a player that's on the opposing team.
And 1 year, he didn't get to know the city. In the end, Toronto the Good made his night an ovation that went on for several minutes. Now, Greg Ross joins us in live courtside from Scotiabank Arena, where the game wrapped up about an hour ago. Greg, what a game to be at tonight, at least for the pregame ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely. An incredible atmosphere in here. They asked fans to show up here early. They opened the gates early, and people were in their seats ready to go for that pregame ceremony. I mean, let's face it, Kawhi Leonard said they wanted to cheer the Raptors, and there's no doubt they came here to cheer for the Raptors, but they also came here to salute Kawhi Leonard. And there were plenty of fans in these seats that were wearing number 2 Kawhi Leonard Raptors jerseys. This is just the next, an extension of that NBA championship. One more celebration. And I got to tell you, it was very special. They played a video tribute on the big screen from all the great moments, and there were plenty of them from last season. In particular, that moment where Kawhi Leonard hit the shot from right about where I'm standing in Game 7 against Philadelphia in the second round last year. One of the greatest moments in Raptors history, and I think a lot of people were excited to watch those moments, to go through those moments, but not as excited as they were when he finally did get the ring. Let's take a look at that moment. Away tears. Here's how Kawhi Leonard described what happened after the game.
You know, we just laughed at it. We knew, I knew he was going to present me the ring before the game, and you know, just probably memories ran through our head, and we just laughed. Yeah. I was joking with him and just trying to showing him that the ring was nice, like it was shining too bright. You know, we started laughing.
And he put the ring away during the game because he meant business. It wasn't the kind of game in the end that fans were hoping for. The Clippers won 112-92, but you got some post-game reaction for us.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a bittersweet moment for fans. Yes, the Raptors didn't come and perform the way that they would have hoped that they would have. I mean, they played the Clippers pretty well the first time they played them in Los Angeles about a month ago. But, yeah, not the performance that fans were hoping for. But still, talking to fans after the game, the one thing that they went away with was it was still a very special and a very important night in the history of this franchise. Did you want to see the Raptors win this game or Kawhi Leonard?
Raptors.
But were you happy to see Kawhi Leonard get his ring?
Yeah.
Did you cheer?
The cheer, the fans were going crazy, the fireworks, the excitement was all amazing.
Did he deserve it?
Yeah, he deserved it.
He's a big part of the franchise, and we're really just paying our respect to him. He's a great guy.
Were you happy to see that the fans were classy?
Of course, he's a very fun guy.
And Kawhi said he actually had an opportunity to take that ring after the game. He sat down in the locker room. He said for several minutes he examined it. He had a good look at it. He's very happy with his ring. And the Clippers are actually staying here in Toronto tonight. So I asked him, what are you doing here in the city that you called home for a whole year? And he said, well, you know what? I'm going to get together with my former teammate Kyle Lowry and his wife. And he said they're going out for dinner tonight somewhere. Maybe they'll Kawhi and dine. Remember that,
Finally,
Mike?
take advantage of all those deals. I don't think the offer still stands when you go to the other team, though.
You're probably right.
All right.
You're probably right.
Thanks a lot, Greg. I'll have more game highlights a little later in our newscast. Well, it was back to school tomorrow, or will be back to school tomorrow for many high school students who got to stay home today as high school teachers held a one-day strike at several boards, including Toronto. Bargaining will resume next week. Lorenda Redekop has the latest on what both sides say it'll take to get a deal.
They picketed outside schools they'd normally be inside, teaching. The union leader visited them on the picket line.
We have given the mediator our availability. We're very much in her hands, and so, you know, there's an opportunity to get back together, it sounds like.
But the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation has demands it wants met first, including canceling planned cuts and mandatory e-learning classes. It has the support of NDP leader Andrea Horwath, who took on the issue in the legislature.
Cancel the cuts. Cancel the cuts. Stop hurting everyday families and let teachers and students get back to work in the classroom.
My message to OSSTF is to cancel the strike that is needlessly hurting students in the class of this province.
The education minister continues to insist this is really about money. that teachers want a 2% wage increase per year.
We're being fair. We're being reasonable. Governments of the past have offered no increase. We're offering a % increase, which is in line with the entire public service.
Plus, CUPE education workers who already settled for 1% are under a Me Too clause. If another education union settles for more, they get it too.
We haven't had an increase and inflation marches on. So we are ultimately poorer than we were before several years ago. Tie this into deputy ministers getting a 14% raise, and I don't quite understand where they're coming from.
High schools will reopen tomorrow, but the dispute continues. And all this is on a week when elementary school teachers just stepped up their Work to Rule campaign. So more job action could be coming. These high school students enjoyed their day off, but say they don't want a larger full-blown strike.
I think it's a great opportunity for the boys to go out to the rink and rip some puck.
I'm sure that there will be more work in the end of the year than before, so this will lead to more stress.
This afternoon, the two sides agreed to resume talks early next week. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
And it appears the OSSTF will band together with 3 other teachers' unions representing elementary, Catholic, and French language teachers tomorrow. They have called a media conference for 9 a.m. to discuss next steps in bargaining with the province. We'll have coverage for you of that for you tomorrow online at cbc.ca/Toronto, CBC Radio 1, and of course right here on CBC Toronto News at 6 and 11. Cully Kennedy's here with the first look at the forecast. This is the overnight. You want to find the thickest blanket you have at home and just bury yourself underneath it.
Yeah, you just want to be cuddled up, right? Maybe an electric blanket if you still have one of those around. It is going to be chilly, something to kind of get used to, but at least, you know what? We don't have to get too used to it. It's tonight, and then we start to see, well, improvement by Friday anyway. So I've already given away my third headline in terms of when it'll get milder, but the winds will be easing overnight tonight, and we're getting into a clearing trend, so starting the day then with some sunshine, albeit a very chilly start, because even though the winds will be lighter than they've been pretty strong. So coming back on them still gives us a significant wind chill. Daytime highs today, yeah, the best we could do -3, but it still felt like -10. Some of those squalls changed direction a little bit, and we'll still see some problems to the east of Georgian Bay through the overnight hours, but any of that light snow shower activity that we'd been seeing around the GTA pushing away. Sunshine to start the day off, and then some clouds building into the afternoon. And by tomorrow evening, the winds pick up from the southwest, and the temperature will actually be climbing Thursday night into Friday. I'm going to get into that in more detail coming up. Just know that overnight tonight, -9, but feeling like -17, then some increasing cloudiness, and 0 the high for tomorrow afternoon.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot, Colette.
You're welcome.
Well, one person has died and a firefighter suffered minor injuries after a 2-alarm house fire in Toronto's West End, north of Etobicoke area. Emergency crews called to a home on Stallion Place. That's just west of Highway 27 and north of Rexdale. Just before 9:30 tonight, firefighters say the blaze occurred at the back of the home and on the roof. The cause and circumstances of the fire weren't initially clear. Police and firefighters continuing to investigate at this hour. Well, a family known for helping out others is getting a bit of help themselves tonight. They lost everything they owned in a fire that took place over the weekend. But now, just in time for the holidays, some total strangers are pitching in to replace some of what was lost. Kelda Yun has that story.
You're going to have a new couch of your choice from the Brick.
It was a moment Millicent Quist and her daughters did not expect.
Hundreds of dollars in gas cards.
The list of donations goes on. Brand new washing machine, kitchen supplies, thousands of dollars worth of gift cards. It was almost too much for Quist to handle. Everything being donated by the hair care company Monate Global and their business partners after they learned of the fire that ravaged the family's home Sunday night.
I love you guys. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Right now, I am in shock.
I was like, oh my gosh, I've never been so surprised in my life.
The cause of the fire is still unknown, but with nowhere else to go, the family is still living in there, despite the lingering smoke still being a factor.
I'm breathing in this smoke the whole time, so it has put a strain on me.
Because it's not fun when people get a fire in their house and they still have to live there.
I've been trying to be strong for my younger siblings.
Bonnie Prier from Monate Global says when they heard about Quist, they knew right away they wanted
to support this family who has obviously been there for their community and tried so hard.
Indeed, Quist is no stranger to giving back. This is from last year when CBC spoke to her after she launched a hot lunch program at Green Home Junior Middle School in Jamestown.
All I'm thinking is just helping my community, but with this that they have done for me, it's mind-blowing.
She hopes this story will inspire others to give this holiday season.
Even if you've never given before, just try to give, because there is a feeling when you start to give, you don't want to stop.
Thank you so much.
Kelda Yun, CBC News, Toronto.
I have no photos of my whole ceremony. Like everyone else, I didn't get anything out of it.
Well, they paid for a wedding photographer, but they have nothing to show for it. Now they have a message for the woman they say stole their memories. That story coming up. We are hearing from several more brides tonight after we brought you a story about photographer Shelby Morell. She disappeared on a few of her clients back in October, taking their money but never delivering any photos. Since then, more of her clients have stepped forward. Natalie Nanowski has the details.
I have no photos of my whole ceremony. Like everyone else, I didn't get anything out of it.
These are the only photos the women have of their weddings. Out of focus, overexposed, captured by their guests. The photographer they hired, Shelby Morell, was paid to deliver professional shots, but never did.
I was just shocked that
Debbie Wiley has been waiting the longest, nearly 2 years, for her wedding video.
every 3 months she probably reaches out to me, says she's got some type of family emergency or gives me another excuse, and then promises the videos for me and then disappears again.
Wiley and Lily Nguyen were the first brides to contact CBC about Morell. That was in October. After numerous attempts to reach Morell, she only responded to CBC once in an email saying that she was ashamed by her behavior and the women will receive what they are owed.
She said she will email me the USB containing the footage, but never had.
Never happened for you?
Never happened.
Since then, 5 other women have come forward, bringing the number to 7. The most recent is Megan Burgess, who got married in March.
Why would you do all of that work and then just not give the files? This is not the hard part of the job. We've been trying to figure out what the legal options are.
Between them, they're out nearly $10,000. Even though they'd likely win a lawsuit, their best bet might be Superior Court.
They could bring a form of what's called an injunction. And that's where you ask the court not for money, but for a court order compelling this photographer to provide all the video and photography that she took.
Before they go to a judge, they do have a message for Morell.
I would really just like to have some sort of documentation of that little section of my ceremony, that there just aren't any existing pictures of that. It doesn't have to be edited or anything like that. I just send a USB and I'll do the rest of the work myself.
And I'd also want, obviously, everybody to understand what they're getting themselves into, so we just want to get that message out there for other people who might see her name pop up.
I can't tell you how many times we've contacted Morell. We've even gone to her home and knocked on the door. The women say the most frustrating part in all of this is that they still see her active on social media, and they believe that there are other people out there waiting for their photos. Natalie Nanowski, CBC News, Toronto.
Oh, coming up, tonight's Raptors game may have all been about Kawhi Leonard's return, but there is still a game to be played. We'll have some of your highlights coming up.
The weather update is brought to you by Train, the most reliable heating and cooling brand. It's hard to stop a train.
Here's one last look at Kawhi Leonard getting his championship ring from Kyle Lowry before tonight's game. Now, once that game started, we realized why we missed him. First quarter, he escapes trouble, then takes a pass, nails a three. Second quarter, Clippers just took over while the Raptors kind of faltered. Kawhi hitting the jumper. The Clippers up by 20 at the break. The Raptors would try to mount a comeback attempt in the third. Marc Gasol to Pascal Siakam, a two-handed slam there, cuts the lead to 5. But the Clippers come back with a 12-0 run to end the three. Another three-pointer there. Leonard not letting up in the fourth. He would finish with 23 points as his Clippers take it 112-92. Colette is back now with her extended forecast. So a chilly start to the day tomorrow, but at least the temperature is heading in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see some milder air pushing in. It starts kind of late in the day tomorrow, like tomorrow evening, and then carries on into Friday. I want to point something out I often do on an almanac when we've had a really long-standing record. So record snow, this has been holding since 1944. And again, it's one of those things where it's probably okay. We're fine to let 1944 keep that, but nearly 30 centimeters on this date in history of snow. So, you know, a centimeter or two for the GTA from this evening, not a big deal, right? Now, it has been more of a big deal where we've been seeing some of those snow squalls. At least they shifted because the winds changed a little bit today, but still other areas getting into that reduced visibility in significant amounts to the east of Georgia Bay, especially travel advisories earlier that we saw around the Niagara region. Things have been improving through there. Tomorrow morning, we have sunshine to begin the day. It's going to be a nice start, albeit a very cool start. And then into the afternoon, we'll start to see clouds increasing. There's a slight chance we could get a few flurries just as the warm front passes by into those afternoon hours. I wouldn't expect much. Mostly it'll be the cloud cover that you're going to notice from this one. And then that the temperature, it doesn't stop rising tomorrow afternoon. I was saying tomorrow afternoon's high earlier in the show. I was telling you it's going to be 0, but that's in the afternoon. It's actually going to climb further from there as we go into the evening hours. Sets us up, although there'll be more cloud cover, for a mild day with those southwesterly winds on Friday. Unfortunately, rain showers push in for the first part of the weekend into Saturday. So overnight tonight through southwestern Ontario, you get a bit of a break in your winds. They'll be picking up as soon as tomorrow morning, though, once again. And look at these readings and feeling like minus 15. And then as we go into the afternoon hours, at least you climb a little bit, but increase in clouds. Winds are high of 2 degrees there. For the GTA, these are the readings. Tomorrow morning even, feeling like minus 15 to minus 17 to begin the day. And then through the afternoon, the temperature comes up to freezing. It'll go up another degree or 2 tomorrow evening, up to about 2 degrees through the overnight. And that puts us up to 5 by Friday afternoon. Very pleasant day to end the week. But there are the rain showers Saturday, and then any leftover moisture into Sunday as the temperature begins to plummet again. That's when we'll see maybe a bit of mixed precipitation there, Mike.
Okay, thanks a lot, Colette.
You're welcome.
Open it. Ah, yes. Go, 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 go.
Christmas came early for 12 Scarborough families today as they were handed the keys to their brand new homes. We'll take you inside coming up. As the song goes, there's no place like home for the holidays, but for some in this city, that's just not affordable. That changed for 12 families in Scarborough today as Habitat for Humanity handed them keys to their brand new homes.
How are you feeling in your new home?
I'm very excited. I didn't get any sleep last night waiting for this. That's yours. You like it, eh? Good night.
So excited. Well, this is a moment that was 3 years in the making. The project began back in 2016. It is the largest build in Habitat for Humanity's 30-year history in the GTA. The finished development includes 50 homes housing 228 people, including 145 children.
This is home, this is a community, this is a future that they had previously only imagined.
Now, to qualify, recipients must be in need and have an income, but as a family, they also have to put in about 50 hours of sweat equity as well. Congratulations to them. Before we go, CBC is getting back in the game show business with the debut of Family Feud Canada next week. It is a show that Kathy Brown, who lives in Ajax, has wanted to play all her life. She's made almost 10 game show appearances over the past 30 years, and tomorrow on Metro Morning, she'll talk about how she is preparing to play the feud for the very first time. That's on CBC Radio 1. I'll see you back here tomorrow night at 11.